Tommy V in Michigan. He was on fire this morning.
Okay, thank you, Tommy V in Michigan. Yes, sir. If you share my prayers.
Tommy V's on. Yeah, we'll jump over there.
Tommy V doing great stuff over there.
Yeah, it's on that jacket there. Like she either messed it up and put it as bond set.
At the jail, what is your name?
Demaria here again.
Okay, calling case prosecutor order number 24-17-366 in the matter of Demonte Nicole Yerrigan. Counsel appearance for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Will Hicking Pete 1520 on behalf of Ms. Yerrigan, who is present via video. Would you state your name for the record?
Demaria here again.
Thank you. Your Honor, today's the date time set for arraignment. I have had the opportunity to speak with my client. I've gone over the charge. At this time, she'd waive a formal reading of that charge. She'd stand mute, ask that the court enter a plea of not guilty on her behalf. I would ask for the opportunity to address bond.
Thank you, counsel. I will enter a plea of not guilty on your client's behalf. You can address bond at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client's 27 years old. She has 6 children, ages 8, 6, 5, 3, and 2 one-year-olds. They are currently with her 70-year-old grandmother. She does have some pretty high bonds out there, so this bond's really not gonna impact her a ton. We're just asking, if possible, for a low cash bond. I'd note she has I think it's $64,000 in bonds right now that she's not going to be able to afford. So we're just asking the court to not add on to that too significantly. If possible, maybe a $3,000 cash bond allowing 10%. Again, it's not going to result in her release at this point. She has to take care of those other cases with the higher bonds. But for this one, we're asking for a lower cash bond.
Okay, thank you, counsel. I'm sure as counsel is aware, your client has 32 priors as an adult. Prior failed to appears, significant criminal history. There was allegations of fleeing in this matter from police allegations. So, and I do understand she has current issues of the 16th Circuit and the 39th District Court. The court will set a reasonable bond amount of $4,000 cash surety and no 10% based upon things I've indicated. I do have some other conditions for your client that I want your client to be aware of. Defendant will not, 1 second here. Defendant will not assault, beat, molest, in any way, verbally harass, or intimidate any potential complaining witnesses in this matter. Personally appear for all court appearances, not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. Immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address or phone number. Defendant will not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. Defendant must contact pretrial services within 24 hours of release. That'll be at the Pontiac District Court. Pick up no new criminal offenses while you're out on bond. Court-appointed counsel has been granted. You will receive a copy of the matters that I'm going over with you. Bond will be in the amount of, I'm sorry, let me back up here. Your probable cause conference is going to be June 13th of 2024. That's your next court date. And then you have an exam scheduled after that for June the 20th of 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Other than that, do you understand your bond conditions, ma'am?
Sure.
Okay. Counsel, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. We're all set in this matter. Thank you.
Good luck, Jurgen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir at the jail, what is your name?
Michael Welch.
Counsel, I believe we have 5 files in this matter, so we'll go through them one at a time. Calling case number 240720, Frank Yellow, in the matter of Michael William Welch. Counsel, appearance for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Will Nick 520 on behalf of Mr. Welch, who is present via video. Would you state your name for the record, Mr. Welch?
Mike William Welch.
Thank you. Your Honor, today's the date time set for arraignment. I have had the opportunity to speak with my client. I've gone over the charges. At this time, he'd waive a formal reading of those charges. He'd stand mute, ask that the court enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Okay, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on your client's behalf. Counsel, would you like to address bond in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 37 years old. He does work full-time at DWLS Landscaping. He's been there for 1 year. He is the only employee other than his boss. He works approximately 40 hours a week. I believe his other charges are just driving offenses. I think it's driving while license suspended, driving while license suspended, allowing. I would be asking initially for a personal bond here. I don't believe that Mr. Welch knew of these charges. They are failure to report essentially his address. There is some question on the constitutionality of these reporting requirements, so I'm not going to get into that. I would just state that his other charges are non-criminal. They are driving issues. And I'd be asking initially for a personal bond. If the court's unwilling to give him a personal bond, I'd be asking for $5,000, allowing 10%.
Okay, thank you, counsel. Yeah, the other matters, before I get into the other matters, are all failed to appears, and it appears to be on driving related offenses. I'm keeping that in mind, that there's 4 separate cases that have failed to appears. So there is some history where defendants not showing up to court when he's supposed to. I think there's also, yeah, and those are the numerous bench warrants that he has out of Oakland County, 14 priors that adult. I won't go into the matter on these particular charges. Release is not recommended by pretrial services. He has 2 more violent felony offenses. History of failed to appear. His current residence. Where are you residing, sir? Your current residence is, you've been there, it looks less than a year, so your residential history is a little bit concerning. Are you still living on Warwick Drive?
No, I finally found a place that I was able to move into. It's an apartment in Bloomfield Township.
Okay, hold on a sec.
A private landlord that was willing to rent to me with my history.
See, and all the court doesn't have any of that information. What is that? What's that? You don't have to give me the numbers, but what is the street of that apartment?
Klingen Smith, Bloomfield Township.
Okay, I've got it. on the other. I have that on the other files. I'll just make a notation on this file. How long have you been at that location?
I literally just moved in this month.
Okay, I'm going to make an adjustment in this file to add this new address. Make sure you are getting contacted in the future. Give me a second here.
That would be the issue with all the previous is I never got any letters for court or anything. I was homeless. I had a mailing address, but I never received
I know
it.
that's right. I understand. That's what the court is addressing is stable residency.
Yes, sir.
If you have stable residency, the court can send you mail and assure your appearance, and could be part of the reason why you're failing to appear on these matters. But keep in mind, it's up to you to take care of that. The court never knows when you're going to leave and move, and you have to keep them updated. You got 5 files here, so you're responsible for letting the court know, so that you don't have to get arrested and come in front of the court again and make matters worse for you. We're trying to prevent that from happening.
Yes,
So.
sir.
All right. So just based upon on this file and considering the other failed to appears and your 14 priors and there's some related violence cases, the court's going to set a $4,000 cash surety bond in this matter, no 10%. I just want to make sure that you understand that you need to come to all court appearances. If you change your address or phone number, which I just noted your new address, if you change it again, you need to let the court know that within immediately. Personally appear for all court appearances. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court, and immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address or phone number. And no new criminal activity while you're out on bond. I have granted court-appointed counsel for you in this matter as well. Sir, do you understand your bond conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, being that these are felony matters, it's a 4-count felony matter, your next court date is your probable cause conference. It's scheduled for June the 13th of 2024, and you're at 1:30 p.m. and you have an exam scheduled for June the 20th of 2024 at 9:00 a.m. You will receive a copy of all these matters before you're released from custody. So you understand your bond conditions in this file, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're all set on this. Let's go through these other failed to appear traffic matters. Calling case Charles Noor 22002038. Again, in the matter of Michael William Welch, counsel appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Wilton Hickey, 81520 on behalf of Mr. Welch, who was present via video. Would you state your name for the record, Mr. Welch?
Michael William Welch.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, today's the daytime set for arraignment. I have had the opportunity to speak with my client. I've gone over his failure to appear in this case. At this time, he'd waive a formal reading. He'd stand mute and set the court enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. In a plea of not guilty on your client's behalf, would you like to address bond in this file, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. So there was an interim bond issued. I believe it was $1,000 cash surety. I would just ask that we add a 10% provision on there, Your Honor. Just noting that these are going to add up, and he was originally homeless. He's gotten his feet back under him, but he didn't have a ton of income. So I'd be asking if possible to add a 10% provision on there. And I'd also note that a surety is going to pay 10%. The only difference is that the money is lost. And right here, it seems like one of the main issues is the amount of money he owes. So adding a 10% to his bond here would ensure that that money goes towards this case.
So state your recommendations again for bond, counsel. I'd already just wrote
Yes,
something in, but you made it. Go ahead.
Just that the interim bond was $1,000 cash surety. I'm just asking that you add a 10% provision so that the money he pays to get a bond goes to his case instead of to a private surety company.
Bond in this file will be $1,000 cash surety, 10%, sir. Just the related conditions as previous, just make sure you show up at all your court dates. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court, and immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address or phone number, and pick up no new criminal offenses while you're out on bond. And obviously, no driving unless you have a valid driver's license. Court-appointed counsel has been granted in this file. Do you understand your bond conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Calling case Tom Nora, 19 William Tom 02454A Adam in the matter of Michael William Welch. Again, counsel appearance.
Good morning, Honor. We'll keep 8150 on behalf of Mr. Welch, who is present. Would you state your name for the record, Mr. Welch?
Michael William Welch.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a failure to appear. I've gone over the charge with my client. At this time, he'd waive a formal reading of that charge. He'd stand mute. I'd ask for the opportunity to address bond.
Okay, I plea of not guilty in client's behalf. You can address bond, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is out of the same court as the last driving while license suspended with the same judge. I think he only owes $228 in the case. The judge sent an interim bond of $500 cash surety. I would ask that the court just add a 10% provision to that original interim bond. So 500 cash surety allowing 10%, so that when he pays the $50, it goes towards his court costs instead of going towards a private surety company. One of his bonds already requires surety. So court's worried about him being looked over. He's going to have a surety in one case if he pays the bond. So I would just ask that a 10% provision be added to this one.
Okay, in this file, the court's going to assign a bond of 100 cash surety, no 10%. Sir, just as with the other files, just make sure you personally appear for all court appearances, not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court, and immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address. I've indicated that the address on this file is the one you just recently gave the court. That's on the Klingsmith Drive. That court, this document is indicated with the correct address on this. So, like I said, other than report for all court appearances, do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. We've noted your change of address or phone number. Hopefully you don't change it again. If you do, you need to notify the court. Pick up no new criminal activity and no driving unless you have a valid driver's license. Court-appointed counsel has been granted. This matter is going to be set for a payment show cost. You understand your bond conditions in this file, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I will recall any warrants in this file as well as the other files that I have before me today reference matters before the court on you. Okay. Calling case Charles Nora, 19-003-122. Also a matter of Michael William Welch. Counsel again appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Will Hickey and Payne 520 on behalf of Mr. Welch, who is present via video. Would you state your name for the record, Mr. Welch?
Michael William Welch.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today's the daytime set for a failure to appear arraignment. I have had the opportunity to speak with my client. I've gone over the allegations. At this time, he'd waive a formal reading. He'd stand mute, ask that the court enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf. I'd ask for the opportunity to address.
You can address bond. Counsel plea of not guilty has been entered, as well as court-appointed counsel granted on all his files.
Thank you, Your Honor. This again is with the same judge. It is just another driving offense. It's allowing a person to drive. It's not even driving while license suspended. The interim bond set was 1,000 cash surety. I would ask that the court add a 10% provision to that or change his bond to $100 cash surety, whatever the court thinks is more appropriate.
Thank you, counsel. Bond will be the amount of $100 cash surety, no 10%. Court-appointed counsel has been granted in this file, sir, as with your other files. Just make sure you personally appear for all court appearances. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. And again, if you change your address or phone number, again, let the court know that immediately. Pick up no new criminal offenses, no driving without a valid driver's license. This matter will be set for a show cause date as well. Do you understand your bond conditions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We're all set on that file. Calling case Charles Nora, 19-003-122 again in the matter of Michael William Welch. Counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. Wilton Hickey, Pate 1520 on behalf of Mr. Welch, who is present via video. Would you state your name again for the record, Mr. Welch?
Michael William Welch.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today's date time set for a show cause arraignment. I have had the opportunity to speak with my client. I've gone over the allegations. At this time, he'd waive a formal reading of any charges. He'd stand mute, ask that the court enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf, and I'd ask for the opportunity to address bonds.
Okay, court-appointed counsel has been granted. A plea of not guilty has been entered on your client's behalf. Counsel, you can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the interim bond set in this matter was just the amount that he owed. I believe that amount has actually been reduced through garnishments. Originally, it was set at $364 cash surety. I would ask that the court either add a 10% provision onto that, or the court change his bond to $100 cash surety. He wants to take care of these. As he stated, he was originally homeless a while ago. He's finally got a place to stay. He does have a job that he's set up. So we're asking the court to make it so it's either $1,000 with a 10% provision, or add a 10% provision on the interim, or to just set it at $100 cash surety.
Thank you, counsel. Bond will be set at $100 cash surety, no 10%. Same bond conditions as with the other files, sir. Just make sure you personally appear for all court appearances, not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. And again, if you change your address or phone number, again, notify the court immediately of that in writing. Pick up no new criminal activity or offenses while you're out on bond. This matter will be set for payment show cause. Court-appointed counsel has been granted in this file as well. Okay, you understand your bond conditions in that file?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get to your last one. Calling case 21-002380 in the matter of Michael William Welch. Counsel, again, appearance for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Wilton Hickey, 1520 on behalf of Mr. Welch, who was present via video. Would you state your name again for the record, Mr. Welch?
Michael William Welch.
Thank you. Your Honor, today's date time set for a show cause arraignment. I have had the opportunity to speak with my client. I've gone over the allegations. At this time, he'd waive a formal reading, stand mute, ask that the court enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf. I'd ask for the opportunity to address bond.
You may address bond, counsel, in the plea of not guilty on your client's behalf.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I don't think I have the paperwork for this one, but I am assuming it's another driving while license suspended or allowing unlicensed driver to drive. I would be asking for another $100 cash surety bonds in this matter.
That is correct, counsel. It was expired, and this matter was an expired driver's license as well. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your client's behalf. Set aside the bench warrant in this file as well as any other files. Set a show cause payment review. The bond will be in the amount of $100 cash surety, no 10%. Same condition, sir, as before. Because back in 2021, you failed to appear for a payment review back on 9/14 of 2021. Bench warrant was issued back then. So just make sure you return to all court dates. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. Change your address again, phone number. Just let the court know. No driving unless you have a valid driver's license. You understand your bond conditions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I think that takes care of this file. You're all set, sir. Best of luck to you. Try to get back on track so we won't have to see you again, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, counsel. Good luck, sir.
Yes, sir.
Judge.
Yes. Thank you. Sir, what is your name?
Demario Haynes.
Okay, give me a second here. Okay, calling case prosecutor order number 24-17440 in the matter of Demario Roshan Haynes. Counsel appearance for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Wilton Hickey, P1520 on behalf of Mr. Haynes, who is present via video. Would you state your name for the record, Mr. Haynes?
Demario Roshan Haynes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today's the daytime set for arraignment. I have had the opportunity to speak with my client. I've gone over the charge. At this time, he'd waive a formal reading of that charge. He'd stand mute and ask that the court enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf. I'd ask for the opportunity to address bond.
Counsel will enter a plea of not guilty on your client's behalf. He's requesting court-appointed counsel as well. I will grant court-appointed counsel in this matter. Give me a second here. I want to look over something in the file. Hey, counsel, would you like to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. My client's 35 years old. He does work full-time. He's at the Dana, D-A-N-A Corporation. He is a production operator. He's been there for approximately 2 months. He does have a criminal history, but he hasn't had any run-in with the law in 8.5 years. He's trying to get everything back under track. He actually rented this vehicle. He's hoping that he can resolve this case after showing the police that he had rented it from somebody and was unaware that it had been stolen. It's somebody he had rented vehicles from in the past in the city of Detroit. So he is hoping to take care of this case. He's hoping to prevent any further convictions on his record. I would be asking initially for a personal bond, Your Honor. Possibly 5,000 personal. If the court's unwilling to give that, we'd be asking for 5,000 cash surety, allowing 10%. And if the court believes that he needs a higher bond, we would ask for a $8,000 bond, allowing 10%.
Okay. Thank you, counsel. Probably the main court's concern is glad there wasn't any vehicle chase involved in this matter, which there wasn't. It appears to me it's defendant's got some violent criminal history, which gives the court the major concern. Court's going to set a bond in a matter of amount of 3,000 cash surety, no 10% in this file. The defendant, sir, you will personally appear for all court proceedings. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court, and immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address or phone number. Are you still on LeBaron Avenue?
Baron, yes.
Okay. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. Immediately notify the court in writing if you should change your address or phone number. That phone number ends in 1741, still valid?
Yes.
Okay. Do not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. Pick up no new criminal offenses while you're out on bond. Court. Your next court date is, since this is a felony matter, your next court date is going to be June 10th of 2024 at 9:00 a.m. And that's your probable cause conference, and you have an exam scheduled for June the 17th at 9:00 a.m. Other than that, do you understand your bond conditions, sir?
Yes, those are in Auburn Hills or Rochester.
Rochester, 52-3, District Court.
And my bond is 3,000, no 10%.
That's correct, sir.
But you do have surety, so you could pay a surety $300.
What is that?
Like a bondsman.
Okay.
So they'll let you make a call once you get out of here.
All
Hey,
right.
best of luck to you, sir. Just knock on the door behind you and walk out. They'll let you out of there. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's it?
Yeah. Who's it?
Black one's gotta be Barnes.
Yeah.
Is it?
Calling case 24-17442 in the matter of Kevin Daniel Barnes. Council appearance for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Wilton Hickey, 1520 on behalf of Mr. Barnes, who is present via video. Would you state your name for the record, Mr. Barnes?
Kevin Barnes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today's the daytime set for arraignment. I have had the opportunity to speak with my client. I've gone over the charges. At this time, he'd waive a formal reading of those charges. He'd stand mute, ask that the court enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Court will enter a plea of not guilty on your client's behalf. Counsel, would you like to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. My client's 53 years old. He is currently unemployed. He does have a place to stay. Despite being homeless, he could provide that address to the court upon his release. It would be with friends. He just doesn't have the address off the top of his head. Mr. Barnes has had a rough past 7 months. Unfortunately, during that time, he lost his mother, he lost his father, he lost his sister, his son was murdered, and his wife passed away of cancer. So things have kind of spiraled a bit, and it resulted in him being homeless for a while and making some poor decisions. He understands that his history doesn't look great and the charges don't look great, but he's asking the court to take into consideration his real world struggles. It's hard for anyone to lose their support system, especially when it's this many people. So we would be requesting a personal bond if the court's unwilling to give him one. We'd be asking for $1,000 cash bond, allowing 10%. And if Mr. Barnes wants to speak, I'd allow him to speak as well.
Okay. Your client does have somewhat of an extensive criminal history as well as history of failed to appears. Probation department is not recommending release as well. I think he's currently on probation out of the 17th District Court, and he's currently wanted out of there for failed to appear. Reference a probation violation hearing on that matter. And 19 prior convictions. Sir, if you wanted to say something on your behalf, feel free. Counsel has no problem with that. Just don't address anything as it relates to the charges that are pending. Okay, I just wanted to hear from you if you wanted to say something.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. My life has changed kind of dramatically where I didn't understand what was going on. And, I lost my mother, father. My son was murdered. My wife passed away, and my little sister passed. So it's just been kind of rough on me mentally. So I think, my mind wasn't always like there. And sometimes I return to like a relapse, and I did go through some counseling, and I think I just need to return to some counseling and get my mind right. And I have received a better understanding with God, through all of
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just based on the things that the court has mentioned to you already, and then the one of the counts that's related to this offense, I don't want you to respond, but it involves also somewhat of an assault of nature, at least of resisting nature allegations in this matter. So based upon that and the other things that I've already mentioned, court's going to set a $5,000 cash surety bond, no 10% on this matter. I do have some other conditions that I want you to be aware of as well, sir. You're not to return, you're not to have any direct or indirect contact with any potential complaining witnesses. That would be any employees or witnesses of a Meijer or Target store. You are not to return to the premises known as Meijer or Target. That's any Meijer or Target location. You will not assault, beat, molest, or in any way verbally harass, threaten, or intimidate any witnesses in this matter. Personally appear for all court appearances. Do not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court, and immediately notify the court in writing if you should change your address or phone number. You will not, shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons, and you must contact pretrial services within 24 hours of you bonding out or being released, as at the 52-4 District Court in Troy. Pick up no new criminal offenses while you're out on bond, sir. Court appointed counsel has been granted, as I've indicated. Your next court date is coming up very shortly. It's June the 10th of 2024 at 9:00 a.m. And you have an exam scheduled for June the 17th of 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Other than that, sir, do you understand your bond conditions?
Yes.
Okay, counsel, I'm all set. Sir, just knock on the door behind you. They'll let you out, okay? And best of luck to you.
Good luck, Mr. Barnes.
Thank you. Sorry. Rich.